Welcome to all you Leos. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for February 2016. Let's have a look for you Leos in general. I want to do these videos a little bit more in a broader perspective than normal. Of course, I will be focusing on this month, but as we have to deal with a lot of retrogrades this year, it's interesting to see it in a bit of a broader perspective. That's what I'm going to try to do here in the monthly horoscopes. So let's have a look for you in February. This is an in-between month for all of us because major events like eclipses and so on, and also Jupiter squaring up to Saturn and so on, that's all happening next month. But this in-between month is even more important, you could say, to prepare ourselves. And the most important thing that is going on is, I find, the Mars in Scorpio. So Mars is in Scorpio. Now, normally it's in a sign like 6 weeks or 2 months, you could say. But now it's going retrograde. So it's been in Scorpio for January, the whole month, almost the whole month. Now February as well, the whole month, and it will go into Sagittarius in March. But it will go back into Scorpio where it is now at the end of May and the beginning of August. So that is a very important thing to know, because whatever it is you are focusing on now, where you are putting your energy towards, your intention, your passion, the Mars in Scorpio, it's going to be revisited around the end of May and up until the beginning of August. So that is important to know, because sometimes we can get frustrated if we don't see the result immediately of our actions. You know, surely if you have a lot of fire in you and you are a fire sign, although it is fixed, so it is a bit more used to those energies. So let's have a look. Mars that is going retrograde this year is actually, you can see retrograde negative or positive. It's the way how you approach these things. Negative would be if you are someone who wants shortcuts straight away. We are living in surely the Western culture is a bit like that, isn't it? You want things immediately, now, yesterday. And but if you are someone like that, you will get a bit frustrated because things are not going as you want, but are not going fast enough. But if you are someone who understands that there's a timing for everything, and you will understand that because you're standing still now a bit more, you're doing things a bit more slowly, and now you will benefit from them 2 times even more in the future. So we're all up to an upgrade for our intentions and the way that we do things. We all are, but we're not going to make a jump like that. It's going to be a big one around August, and that's why it's important to know that if things are not necessarily going too fast in February and also in January, that we know that this has a reason. So it's a reason to know that it's important to go inwards. This is the Mars in Scorpio. It's very strong there, but it's very strategic. It likes to plan before it launches its thing. I always think of a general when I see like Scorpio, especially Mars in Scorpio. Oh, they are so committed. And Juno is there as well still. Juno, the asteroid of commitment. It's a double whammy in your 4th house. So I'll explain that in a minute. But what does Mars in Scorpio means? That you're putting your teeth into something. We all do for the moment on different levels, but we all are putting our teeth into something. We are becoming more passionate in what we do. We want to be raw, authentic, no keeping up the appearances. That was and trying to balance out. No, it's now the real stuff, you could say, and being very black and white. So and for you that happens in your 4th house. It's actually it's one of the most sensitive points. It's a very sensitive house. It's the house of your roots. It's an emotional house. So having Mars there, which is a very and certainly in Scorpio, it's a planet that wants to dig deep. It's a planet that wants to know it all. It's a planet that will not take no for an answer. It will keep on going until it gets what it wants. That's well, it has a good side, but it also has a downside. But nevertheless, let's try to stay positive here. And the good side is that you want to go to the root of the matter of your own roots, for instance. Could be the case that you want to understand your roots better, or you dig deep when it comes to your roots. Maybe you've got roots from other countries and you want to understand that better, and that will give you the energy to be more expressive yourself, because Mars is going to jump into Sagittarius when it reaches March, which is the house of self-expression. So there is this link here. There's a lot of soul search going on with the Leos here. A lot, but that is to become more open, to become more expressive, to understand yourself better so that you can be just who you are. And that's ultimately what Leos are all about. They need to shine, I mean, at least in one particular area of their life. So this Mars in Scorpio and also in February, it's a good time to try to understand yourself better, to try your emotional situation better, to the nurturing side of yourself. Where does that come from if you think that you're not nurturing yourself enough? Where does it come from, and how can you implement better ways in order for you to become stronger, to become less needy? That's also the fourth house. You know, the moon rules over that house, and the moon is all about what do we need in life, and Scorpio is about transformation. So it's like a lot of Leos are in a transformative mode when it comes to where their emotional stability is or is not. So of course we're never perfectly emotionally stable. We're always interacting with other people and so on and so on. But this is a good time for you Leos too. And this is all happening behind the scenes, by the way. Not only because it's in Scorpio, but also because it's in the deepest part of your chart. So people who don't know you that well will not know how hard you are working on yourself. It's, I know, working on yourself doesn't really sound very woohoo and out there. But I think it's good for Leos to spend a bit more time in understanding where they're coming from, and it will help them to gain more emotional stability. If you say, oh, I'm already emotionally stable, fine, you'll get even better in that. But if you're struggling with that, being emotionally a bit more independent, a bit more trusting yourself, trusting where you're coming from, trusting your roots, and that will improve that. That will improve, and that goes well with what you are all about, and your intentions will become more aligned with what you are all about. So don't fall into ego struggles with relatives or with people that you live with, because that's the negative side of Mars in the fourth house. That you are, you know, that there is too much of a standing up for yourself, and being, you know, having those ego struggles. Don't fall into that. Try to understand why you are sometimes a bit angry with people around you. That's not a bad thing, being angry, but understanding it, working it, retrospecting it, that is a very good time, and to do so. To dig deep, to go. It's a very psychological transit, this Mars in your fourth house. So it's understanding yourself on a very deep psychological level, and that will give you such an amount of strength and growth, so you can apply yourself better, even better than you are doing now, and you feel sexually more freed up, you will feel emotionally more freed up, you will feel creatively, in its most general way, more free up when you're standing still a little bit more with where you're coming from. And it doesn't matter when you're 20 or 40 or 60, sometimes we need to do these things. You know, this Mars transit that is going on for such a long time is showing that for you it's a good time to reinvent yourself, to know what you are all about. And on the other hand, something way more lightly is going on, which is so nice, as from the 18th Venus. Venus enters your 7th house of relationships. So that is good for even if you're not having a relationship, or if you are having a bit of a trouble there. Venus in the 7th house shows good connections. It also shows that you want that, because Venus in the 7th can also show that you want that more. You want more gentle Venusian relationships. So and if you're single, you could encounter a Venusian personality, but very friendly, because it's in Aquarius, you know, very like-minded people that can come your way. So it's good for friends as well. And sometimes maybe friends mixed up with, you know, you want to have maybe a bit more romance when it comes to a friend that you have an eye on. That could be possible with Venus there in your 7th house. There's also a new beginning there. On the 8th, there's a new moon in your 7th house. So relationships go on another level, on a higher level, on a better level. There's something that is new coming in. So that's something to look forward as well. Now, what else? I think that's basically it. When is it? Oh yes, there's also a full moon in Virgo on the 22nd. You know, the sun will be in Pisces and the moon will be in Virgo. That's your 2nd house and your 8th house. So expect around that time maybe something that comes up that has to do with money. Hopefully a bit more money coming your way. We all want that, don't we? Or it can mean something that you acquire, you know, a present or something that you buy for yourself that you've been looking for a long time, or something that has to do with your values. There is like an understanding, a better understanding, better insight when it comes to what you want in life, your values again. So quite deep for you Leos out there. But I hope you like it, and I wish you a very good month during the month of February. Have a good time. Really enjoy that Venus in the 7th house, and see you next month. Bye bye.